I've been lucky enough to drive a lot of supercars. I've been lucky enough to be able to drive a $1 million car. And of any car I've ever driven, driving at 1/10, just driving around, this is the most fun because it's the most engaging. Simple, fun sports cars. That's what we need. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today you join me in my 2021 Lotus Evora GT, and in a world of heavy hybrid automatic vehicles, this just feels like a breath of fresh air. Sports cars don't need to be complicated. A really good feeling 6-speed manual, lightweight, mid-engine, good sounding car goes a long way in these times. C8 Corvette, NA V8, 3,600 pounds. Toyota Supra, tiny car, small little profile, 3,500 pounds. Even these non-electrified sports cars are just obese by the standards of a Lotus. This isn't a crazy light Lotus. The last Evora's non-carbon packs, this car weighs about 3,170 pounds, but thanks to its hydraulic steering, which nothing's had for a very long time, God knows why, it feels like a sub 3,000 pound car. It's incredibly agile, you feel everything through the wheel, and if you want to go down a gear or two, it makes a really good noise. Analog tacks, you don't really see those anymore. It's a small little detail, but everything about this car is just about enjoyment. The gear shifts, I've seen people complain about this transmission because it's not rocket fast, it's not like a Porsche racing transmission, but it's so fun to go through the gears with, and just the shifter itself is so satisfying. Every little move you make in this car, every input you put in, it's so rewarding, just pressing the pedals, going through the gears, anything. And yes, that is a 3.5 liter Camry engine out the back there, but does it sound like it? Not in my opinion. Even some of the best modern sports cars, a brand new, well, they're technically discontinued, but a basically brand new 718 Spider RS or GT4 RS, mid-corner, you don't feel the car rotate in through the wheel. There's so much numbness to it thanks to electric power steering, which I know all the companies are incentivized to do, but Lotus being a small little company, they still haven't done it. Even with the Evora, which is newer than this, they're still doing hydraulic steering. The reason I'd like an Evora over an Evora, even lighter, slightly more power. The back seats are practical. I know you're not putting humans back there, but there's other things you can put back there. For me, it's shoe boxes. Back when this car was on Cup 2s, which is the standard OEM tire, you could literally feel the lines in the road. You could feel every little imperfection. You could feel every little balance shift in the car. It's still amazing, the steering feel, but the fact that the steering feel is better on this, on these Continental Extreme Contacts, than a Porsche on Dunlop semi-slicks, it says everything. This car is so much more engaging than any other modern car I've driven that doesn't have a McLaren badge. And the price difference between here and there is astronomical. You're talking about a house versus a sports car. When I was looking at selling my C8 Corvette, I wanted a lighter weight car. And the options are there. There's a GR86, there's a Miata, you can get an S2000. S2000, 237 horsepower, GR86, about 206, I think, 208 maybe. Miata's sub 200, they're very fun, very light cars. Even a 4C, 237 horsepower, this has 416. And in modern terms, that's not a lot. But you're 500 pounds lighter than a C8, and you're down less than 100 horsepower. It still goes, it has plenty of power. You're not just bringing it down the road like an 86 Miata or an S2000, and that's rare. There really aren't a lot of cars at this weight with that kind of power, and the only answer is a Boxster. And to me, this is a far more fun vehicle to drive. C8 Corvettes, great cars. Dual clutch transmission replacements on those seem to be kind of almost a wear item at this point with how often they go through them. $20,000 repair. This is a manual transmission. If you mess it up, that's on you. The engine, again, is out of a Toyota Camry, so you really don't have to worry about stuff there. Fingers crossed, don't need to jinx myself. Of course, there's an L-Rock supercharger on there, but it's really not a complicated car. It's a manual transmission, it's a Toyota V6. And that V6 makes some phenomenal noises. One good thing about these Continentals is they warm up absurdly fast. So much more confidence throwing this car into a corner than something with electric power steering, because you know what it's doing. Thanks again to that Toyota V6. Even this being my daily driver sitting in traffic every day, 22.6 miles to the gallon. A few wide open throttle pulls in this trip, lots of traffic, 22.6 miles to the gallon. It's unbelievable. 22 miles to the gallon, and if this guy can pick a lane, it sounds like this. It's an angry noise. You get the little supercharger squeal. And again, plenty of power, even by modern standards. Simple, fun sports cars. That's what we need. You don't have to go 1,000 miles an hour to have fun. This car is fun doing anything. I sell shoes for a living. Well, I mean, I have a job too, but I sell shoes every day. And just driving to UPS every day is a fun task. That's just not the case in most modern cars. Every little click, every little thing is fun. That's all this car is really centered around, and that's what these cars are supposed to do. That's why you spend the money on them instead of just a regular car. It's old school fun with modern technology. I mean, you have CarPlay, you have a backup camera, you have all that stuff. We can still build cars this good in 2026, even with crazy regulations. We can still build cars this good. We just need hydraulic steering, lightweight, and a company that knows how to build drivers-focused cars. A lot of Lotus engineers went to McLaren, so that's why I feel such a similar thing with McLaren. The big manufacturers can do this. Maybe not Corvette, because they have to sell so many cars here, they have to cater to so many different people, which is what makes the C8 just awesome, because it does everything. It's a normal car and a great, fast missile, especially in the ZR1's case. But Porsche, Lamborghini, Ferrari, they can go back to the roots. Not that Lamborghinis are ever drivers' cars, but modern Ferraris are 3,600 pounds. I know we're talking about a different price point. A Turbo S is like 3,800 pounds. This is not what people want. A lot of the newer car people, sure, that just are buying badges and really, really big numbers, but I know there's still a lot of us out there that just value driver engagement. Evora GT, this is an insane example of the price point, but 3,000 pounds, 600 horsepower. We can build cars like that now at much lower price points. It's a much more normal power figure. I don't see the problem. 416 horsepower, 3,100 pounds, sounds good, row your own gears. This is a hell of a formula. And with Lotus transitioning to electric vehicles, we need other brands to build cars like this, not just Gordon Murray, which just a T50 just sold for $8.2 million. I think it's fair to say no one watched this video, probably, maybe not judging your guys' pockets, but is buying that car. It's only 106 of them. I've been lucky enough to drive a lot of supercars. I've been lucky enough to be able to drive a $1 million car. And of any car I've ever driven, driving at 1/10, just driving around, this is the most fun because it's the most engaging. We just need to put more emphasis on this. If companies knew this is what buyers wanted for some reason, maybe there aren't a big enough buyer pool of real, drivers, I don't know. But I think these things have done pretty well on the used market. So I think if new cars were built like this, they would sell. The Gordon Murray T50 has to be an example of that. $8.2 million when just sold for at auction. That's just unbelievable. Don't think just because I'm saying it's not crazy fast doesn't mean it's capable. I took this to the Lime Rock Proving Grounds, which they consider autocross, but it's just a really small track. There's tons of different corners, all that kind of stuff. The lap record is a 992 GT3RS, which is a monster of a car, ton of downforce. You can't really use it at those speeds, but ton of downforce. On slicks with a pro driver, it did a 41.9, okay? This, on just Continentals with me, who's not a pro driver, did a 45.9. If you put some fast semi-slicks on here or something like that, this might get in the 43s. This is a very, very competitive car. There was a racing driver there in his M2. He ran 3,000 slower than me in an M2 comp. I'm not a fan of modern Porsche manuals. I think they just feel digital. I honestly prefer the PDK. I know that might sound weird to say, but the fact that Porsche manuals sell the way they do, it is impossible to get one at sticker. Even if you know the GM of a dealer, it's hard to get one at sticker. If more cars were made like this, they don't even necessarily have to manuals, just lightweight, drivers focused, any good marketing, they will do well. This car is fun, it has the right steering ratio. You just doing anything in this car is fun. You put the window down, you change gear, and then you do this. not going completely jail speeds like you would be in a modern supercar, and you're having just as much, if not more fun. Look at that, there's a C8 Z06 right in front of us. That's pretty funny. I love the C8 Z06. I have a video on the channel on the C8 Z06. Monster grip, beautiful car, amazing engine note. This car is so much more fun to just drive around than that. When if you're really pushing the car, that's more fun. The front end grip is just monstrous, absolutely monstrous. But if you're just driving around, I'll take this over that every day. And see, they appreciate the Lotus too. That's the good thing. There's no negative stereotypes of this car. When I had my C8, I'm a younger guy, people do not like that. I got really dirty looks. I got weird conversations with people at gas stations, shopping centers. I was just trying to drive my car around. Honestly, I don't really care about badges and stuff like that, but when you get a lot of negative connotations from just owning a car, that really sucks.